Okay, today I want to talk a little bit about what the strategy department at Max Connect has been developing over the last 12 months. So, this really isn't reinventing the wheel. What it is doing is looking at strategy through a new lens, and that's what I want to talk about today. A lot of times, over the last 12 months, I've met with countless, probably 50 to 100 clients and partners and businesses, and they all seem to have a very similar problem. And what that problem is a lot of time their strategy is broken, and that's not because of poor thinking. A lot of time this brand strategy is well thought out. The issue is it's delivered in a presentation, in a really beautiful keynote deck, and then it's delivered and dies on a desktop of a coworker. There's no action plan. And what I found is that these businesses, they don't need more decks from us. They don't need an agency to come in and say, here's more thinking, here's more research. What they do need, however, is increased revenue and the strategy that will ultimately boost performance. So where's the disconnect? And that's something that we've thought a lot about here at Max Connect Digital. There are dozens and dozens of strategy decks that all of these businesses have, and like I said earlier, a lot of those deliverables don't have an action plan and they die. And what happens is teams can't activate on that. The campaigns drift and messaging dilutes. And that's something that we want to solve, and that's a problem that we've seen time and time again. But what if there was more than just a dead-end deck, something that can live and breathe all the way to the end of the row? We want to really create something here at Max Connect to deliver to our clients more of a robust system, something that carries brand strategy, research, messaging, all the way to enhanced performance. So that's what we've set out to do. And what our belief is that strategy, campaign strategy, brand strategy, everything that lives under that umbrella is really that connective tissue that starts with a human insight, something that will really resonate with consumers. And that strategy will link insight to execution, brand to campaign, and idea to outcome. So that leads me to this, the StratBridge method. This is Max Connect Digital's proprietary methodology or framework that really helps bridge the gap between brand and performance. I could dive into this, and for lack of time, I'll just leave you with a little bit. Come talk to me after. But there are 4 Ds that really serve as pillars that define the StratBridge method. And it's discover, define, design, and drive. And underneath each pillar exists tons and tons of different deliverables. And these deliverables might be helpful as a one-off to you. But without a structured framework, there's nothing driving it all the way to the end of the row. And that's what we've set out to do with this methodology. The 4C analysis, all different types of research, isn't very actionable unless there's a plan of attack. And that's what we see in the define, design, and drive pillars that support this framework. So this is kind of what it looks under the bridge. What this is actionable structure to help all of the deliverables, all of the upfront work that all of your brands have done to get to the end of the row. Things like all of the research, the different buyer personas, the framework design, the messaging, all the way to implementation in organic, social, to paid ads. That's what you'll see with this. So really, that's what it's all about. I want you guys to imagine a campaign that, with the actual insight that sparked that campaign, it shows up in the messaging. It shows up in the buyer personas. It shows up in the creative, in the social, in the performance, and all of that, all the way to really boost and elevate performance. So that is what StratBridge is all about. Thank you.